This painful and tragic story will make you understand the saying, your ex is not your friend. The story begins with a young woman named Alisha Suleiman. Alisha was in love. She thought she had found the perfect man, but as things would turn out, their relationship would spiral into a tragedy beyond imagination. Today, we will dive deep into the details of this strange incident that involved love, revenge, and a meal meant to heal the wounds of a broken heart. But this meal would soon become a weapon of destruction as 5 young lives were lost. And at the center of it all, Alisha's catfish pepper soup. Stay with me as we uncover everything unfolded. To understand this story, we first need to take a look at the relationship between Alisha and her ex-boyfriend, the man at the heart of this deadly tale. Alisha, a young lady from the north of Nigeria, was in a romantic relationship with a boy who was the center of her world. Like many young couples, they spend their days talking, laughing, and dreaming of a future together. But like many young relationships, things started to change. They started facing problems, and Alisha's boyfriend grew distant, not responding to calls, not showing the same affection, and it hurt her deeply. Alisha's boyfriend suddenly broke up with her. Imagine the heartbreak, the anger, the fear of rejection. For Alisha, it was more than just a breakup. It felt like a stab to the heart. But Alisha was determined not to let it go. She didn't want to accept that the love of her life was slipping away. Revenge, they say, is a dish best served cold. And cold it was. Alisha, hurt by the betrayer, started plotting. She knew how to get back at him, his weakness, his love for food. But this wasn't just any food. It was catfish pepper soup. On that fateful day, Alisha invited her ex-boyfriend over for a meal. She knew this was her chance, her opportunity to make him feel pain she felt. But what seemed like a simple meal would soon turn deadly. She spent hours preparing the catfish pepper soup, but little did they know, Alisha had added something extra to the pot, something no one would ever suspect. She poisoned the dish. Her ex-boyfriend arrived at her place, unaware of the deadly trap she had set. He was hungry, excited to enjoy the meal prepared by the girl he once loved. He dug into the catfish pepper soup with his friend, but something wasn't right. Something was wrong. The first sign came when Alisha's ex-boyfriend and his friend started feeling ill. At first, they thought it was nothing more than an upset stomach, but soon, the sickness grew worse. They complained of dizziness, nausea, and a strange feeling in their chests. Within moments, things took a terrifying turn. One by one, the boys started collapsing. The laughter that had once filled the room was replaced by screams of panic. What was going on? Was it food poisoning? Was it something more? Alisha watched in horror. Her heart raced, but there was no turning back now. Her plan was unfolding just as she had hoped. By the time help arrived, it was too late. 5 young lives were lost that night, all of them victims of what seemed like a random act of poisoning. The boy who had broken Alisha's heart and 4 of his friends. The news spread quickly. People were shocked, confused, devastated. The idea that someone would intentionally kill others, especially when something as common as a bowl of catfish pepper soup, was unthinkable. But was it really Alisha's fault? Was she the one who poisoned them? Or was there something else at play? As the days passed, the police began their investigation. The bodies were sent for autopsy, and the evidence started to unfold. The initial conclusion seemed clear: food poisoning caused by Alisha's meal. But as investigators dug deeper, they discovered something disturbing. While the initial signs pointed to the catfish pepper soup, the real cause of death was not as straightforward as they had thought. The breakthrough came when the investigators looked into the environment where the young men had eaten the meal. After careful analysis, they found something unexpected: carbon monoxide poisoning. These boys had been exposed to deadly fumes from a generator running nearby, and it had poisoned them, not the pepper soup. It was a tragic accident, one that no one could have predicted. But how could this happen? How could something so small lead to such a massive loss? And Alisha, was she still responsible for the deaths? The investigation continued. The evidence against Alisha was now unclear. The police had to reconsider the charges. Aisha's role in the tragedy remained a mystery. She was cleared of all charges when it was determined that the deaths were accidental, caused by the toxic fumes from the generator. But could she have known about the fumes? Could she have done more to save her ex-boyfriend and his friends? The case left more questions than answers. Some still believed Alisha was guilty, while others argued that it was all just a tragic series of events. In the end, Alisha was free, but the scars of the tragedy would remain with her forever. The loss of 5 young lives, the heartbreak of a failed relationship, and the chilling thought that a single mistake could change everything. So what can we learn from this story? It's a reminder of how quickly things can spiral out of control when emotions, love, and revenge collide. It's a reminder that sometimes the most dangerous weapon isn't a knife, a gun, or a poison, but the pain inside our hearts. And while Aisha's action may have been fueled by betrayal, it's clear that her choices brought devastating consequences. Love is a powerful thing, but so is a desire for revenge. Thank you for watching. This is the story of Alisha Suleiman and the deadly catfish pepper soup. What do you think? Was it an accident, or did Alisha have a darker role to play in this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe for more captivating and mysterious stories like this on my channel. Until next time, stay safe and always be careful about who you trust.